I look at this camera right here.
This one?
This one.
This one?
Which camera should I be speaking to?
All right. Well,
Here we are, Nicole.
here we are. Episode what? 160?
165.
165?
165.
Who would have thought?
Who? Not us.
Certainly not
Certainly
us.
not us.
I think certainly not us on either side of the spectrum. I think that we probably thought we were either going to do 3 episodes or we're going to do 5,000.
So true.
Which, to be fair, we could still hit the 3,000 mark.
We could still. But I think it's important to say here as the first things that we say on this 165th podcast is that this is officially the final.
Do we want to say it's official? Are we really going to put a bow on that?
Okay. No, we won't say official. This is, for now, the final podcast episode of Two Girls, One Formula, TG1F and F1 podcast with Kate and Nicole. And so for potentially the final time, my name's Kate.
My name's Nicole.
We're your hosts. And this is our show.
And this is our show.
Like, I actually so emo. Like, saying that actually just, like, really got me in a way that it hasn't gotten me yet.
I know. All right. Well, I think we need to back it up. I think it's probably a jump scare for, like, a lot of people.
Yeah, we're really not. It's not goodbye. It's see you on the internet.
Yeah.
For now. I think, we'll put up we're obviously putting up a post on our Instagram kind of telling more about this decision. So you can read that, but kind of in summary, Nicole and I have been doing this podcast for 4 years.
No, 3. We've been doing
years.
Two Girls,
One Formula.
5 years, yeah.
Two Girls, One Formula has been for 5 years. We started in 2020, so almost 5 years. And we were very different people when we started this account, even when we started this podcast 3 years ago. That's still crazy.
Much has happened in 3 years. It's kind of insane.
Like, really nuts. Like, we started Two Girls, One Formula, like, all the way in the beginning. We were 2 girls, 25 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of insane.
Yeah.
We were children.
We had our whole lives ahead of us.
We were literal babies, and we had no idea what was coming. But we were 25-year-olds. We lived in Boston. We were and still are best friends. That hasn't changed. But, like, we were hanging out every single day.
Well, when we started, this was the pandemic.
We were in the but still, we were hanging out every single day. We were in a COVID pod. We were podding. Yeah. We were podding then, and we're still podding now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like some things never change.
We love something that starts with a pod. And we were both, what number job ago was this for both of us? Like 3? 3 for me, I think. Yeah, because I was at Big Fish, and then I went to Win. And now. So, yeah, 3 jobs ago. Nick was just my boyfriend.
He was just some guy.
He was literally just some guy. Like, we're about to hit 8 years, so we had only been together for 3 years at this point, which, okay, we barely knew each other. Like, who was that man?
He was living in your home.
Literally, who was he, though? Barely a stranger, basically a stranger. And we were just very different, and we found ourselves kind of, as most people do, or did in the pandemic, really craving community and social interaction outside of just the 2 of us, 3 if you count Nick, and we're just obsessed with Formula One. Like, we had been fans. Drive to Survive came out, like, we were just kind of like hitting the peak. And we were obsessed. Like, we were obsessed. We would talk about Formula One exclusively. Like, it was literally the only exciting thing in our lives. Full stop. The only exciting thing that was happening for us at the moment was Formula One. And I think it was just ripe for us to do something like this. And I think we didn't think it was going to take off the way it did. And we're so lucky and grateful that it did. But fast forward 5 years, so much has changed.
Mhm.
So much has stayed the same because people are always staying the same, but
And
they're
they're always
always changing too.
no. Just like that bit.
And
Always staying the same.
but just like that bit, we're always staying the same. But like, I mean, now, like I've been at 3 jobs since, you've been at 4.
Mhm.
You, like, are a cool New York City girl. Like, you're literally Sex in the City, Nicole. Like, I got married and I bought a house. Like, I live in a different state. Nicole lives in a different state. We've just, like, there's so many different things that have happened in our lives. Like, we're very different people. And I think we kind of told ourselves that we would always do this podcast as long as we were having fun.
Because
Why be upset when you can just have fun?
when you can just have fun.
And we said, as long as we're having fun with it, we're not taking it too seriously. And as long as it feels authentic to us,
Mm.
that's as long as we'll do this podcast. And I think we kind of started having these conversations earlier, kind of a year ago almost, like kind of starting to
Mhm.
like, we were like teasing the idea. We were like, we're not actually saying this, but we're kind of thinking it. But I think the podcast and the platform in the way that it exists now does
Mhm.
like no longer feels authentic to us. I think
Right.
in the way that we've changed so much over 5 years, our content and, like, the platform and the podcast hasn't really changed, like, it's still
Yeah.
all about F1 only, and I think that it just doesn't feel as natural anymore, like, we love Formula 1. It's always
Yeah.
gonna be something that we love, but it is no longer the only thing that we talk about, like, we
And nor is it the only thing I want to talk about.
Right. Like, I think we have so many new things that we're interested in, things that we're passionate about, things that we've learned in the past 5 years that we
Mhm.
care deeply about, that if we're gonna have a platform and a place for us to talk, we wanna talk about those things. Because I think,
Right.
like, the feedback we got in the first few, like, seasons of the show, let's be real, it's never stopped. We've never had this is one long season. This has been one long season of this podcast, but people would always say it feels like I'm in a conversation with my friends. Like, I'm just
Mhm.
listening to my friends chat and I'm, like, chiming in with them. And I think we've kind of lost that magic along the way because this isn't our natural conversations anymore. Like, and I think that we just need to get back to that because that's when we had the most fun,
Right.
was, like, when we would just hop on the mics and we would have a normal conversation.
Yeah, and I think we started to take ourselves a little too seriously
Yes.
along the way, right? I think as more people came into the space and we started to see, not more competition, but in a sense, like people started listening to other things, and that's totally fine too. It was just kind of like, all right, well, now there are so many other people. We talk about this all the time. Like, we're so happy that there are so many other women in the space talking about the sport in the way that resonates with us and
Right.
resonates with you all. And obviously, you have a lot more choice in what you want to listen to now. And so we were like, okay, like now we have to like really pin down the agenda and like all of the segments and like all of this stuff, and
Yeah.
we have to make sure that we're looking good for a brand so that we can make money. And I think it was just ultimately like stressing us out a little
Yeah.
bit. And so I think that caused us to lose some of that fun and some of that magic as well. So I think just like us, I think a lot of you who are listening have changed no matter whether you started listening, this is your first episode, so sorry, or
Imagine. Yikes.
or you've listened to all 165. You've changed as well. Like, I think we all can understand liking new things and wanting to talk about different things, and so ultimately we're just growing with you, and we
Mhm.
hope that along the way, I mean, I look at our DMs all the time and people are always sending us things outside of F1
Yeah.
anyway, that it's like, you guys already know that we like all of these other things. Like, we just want to make it more official
Yeah.
as part of our brand.
Like, we wanna be able to here's the thing, we wanna be able to talk about Sarah J. Maas, the Masterverse, and not have to make it a separate
Something
series.
so yeah.
Like, I wanna be able to talk about things that we care about and not have it feel like, "Okay, we're going off topic," like,
Mhm.
it there's no topic. Like, I want us it's just I want all of us, us podcasting and you guys listening, to just I want it to be a natural conversation between friends again. And I
Mhm.
think that we are and we always talk about this, Nicole. We talk about this when we talk to journalists, when we're talking about female F1 fans. We always say we are multifaceted. We
You
are
can't put us in a box.
you can't put us in a box, and I think that we've been putting ourselves in a box by just kind of keeping this podcast about one thing, which is just one tiny piece that makes us who we are.
Mhm.
And so I totally understand if there are people listening to this podcast that this is not going to be their jam and they only want to listen to F1. Completely understand. But I'm hoping that a lot of you will stick around and stay with us and keep hanging out with us and keep spending time with us on these episodes and to come at some point, and we'll still have some fun together. We'll
And again, like I said, F1's never
never gonna
gonna
go away.
not be a part of our ethos. So,
Right.
like, obviously, if there's a particular crazy rumor or race that happens, like,
We're
we're
always
gonna
gonna
talk
talk
about
about
it
it.
because something that we talk about anyway,
Yeah.
right? So, I think too, like, the resource guides about like where to watch F1 and like all of the stuff that
Our
we've built
F1
in.
merch staying.
Yeah,
We'll
the
always be
F1
putting out F1 merch, that's for sure.
the community obviously staying,
Yeah,
like, that's never gonna go away, and we hope to continue to build there and help people who really do feel like that's the number one thing that they wanna talk about, help give them the ability to continue to build in that community and provide them with guidance and resources on how to set up watch parties or whatever it may be, right? But we just don't want to be the stewards of that helm completely
yeah,
anymore. So it's expansion, it's pivoting, it's growth, it's rebirth, it's all of the good things you need in your life to feel fulfilled.
correct. And I think, also important to say, we will be taking a bit of a break
Mm-hmm.
because your girls have been working for
Mm-hmm.
5 years now, and we just need a couple months. We need a little while to just kind of, like, as the drivers say, rest, relax, recharge,
Mm-hmm.
because we have been doing this literally every week for over 3 years now, and
Yeah.
that's a lot, and I think we need to find our own spark again,
Mm-hmm.
and then so stay tuned. We have no concrete plans. This won't be a One Direction hiatus, though.
No.
We will be back at
We
some
would
point.
never do that to you. And, like,
So
I also like, obviously, the podcast is we're gonna take a break from the podcast, but I don't imagine that I'm not gonna be still be posting on stories, like,
oh, yeah,
chaotically.
like,
So
we probably won't be posting, like, static like, I feel like we really do just need to take a step back and breathe
mhm.
for a minute, but I'm sorry, the Instagram account is my Finsta at this point. Like, I'm posting whatever I want on the stories. I'll never stop. You'll have to
Never.
pry that Instagram account from my cold, dead hands. I can't not. I don't post on my personal Instagram anymore.
I know.
Like, I post more personal stuff on the TG1F Instagram than I do my personal Instagram at this
Yeah,
point.
I'm like, "You guys gotta follow TG1 to see what I'm up to."
Like, sorry, I actually don't feel like anyone it's at this point, I'm like, people don't need to know what I do. Like, people I know don't need to know what I do.
Yeah.
The random people on the internet, though, they need to know
Yeah, of
because
course.
they get me.
Our community needs to know those people
Our
on the internet
community gets
love
me in a way that my real life community just doesn't, you know?
no, absolutely not. So this is our last episode for a while to say,
Yeah,
at the bare minimum.
bare
Our
minimum.
last episode, we'll be back. We can't not talk into a mic. Like, we thought that no one would listen to us, and now you guys won't be able to get rid of us. So unfortunately, kind of stuck
Unfortunately
with
for
us on that one.
you, you guys made this your problem at this point. You made us your problem.
But
But
as our final TG1 episode, do we want to talk about this season finale?
we gotta talk about Abu Dhabi do, baby. They really Abu Dhabi did.
You know what? I woke up a little late on Sunday. I woke up on the 10th lap. My parents are watching the race, and I had forgotten it was on. I had gotten incredibly drunk the night before.
Yeah, I
Um,
know. You're posting all over the stories, responding to people, commenting on things. I was like, Nicole's drunk on the story, I can tell. Nicole's drunk on the Instagram. I can always tell when it's happening.
my favorite pastime. I woke up
My
and
favorite was you posting the text that Danielle drunkenly sent to BU that made no sense and being like, my sister doing work. And everyone's like, what does this mean? Sheila goes, once you put my sister in, then I will. Did
okay,
not say in where, though.
the problem is we were having a conversation about the BU magazine. because I learned so I don't get it to my apartment. Obviously, they send it to my parents' home, and as I was home for like 3 weeks, my dad goes, "Here, you got mail," and I flipped it open, and the first thing that I learned was that the Liberty Mutual Limu Emu guy is a BU grad. And so I was like talking about it. I was telling my sister about it because she wasn't there when it happened. And so she was like, I was like, when are they gonna put me in this magazine? And I was talking about how Alex Cooper was in there because Kyle brought it up. He's like, oh, Alex Cooper was in there too. And I was like, yeah, like me and Alex Cooper are basically the same person. Why are they not putting me in this magazine? And so Danielle was like, I just got a text. I'm going to reply to them and tell them that I'm not donating until they put you in there. But she did not. She was also drunk. And
I knew she was also drunk because I was like, this is a very non-Danielle text. But it was just the lack of any sort of meaning to the
no
text message
context.
was so, because it didn't even say, it said nothing about the magazine. She goes, when are you going to put my sister, all these qualifiers, who has been in the cut, question mark. When will you put my sister who's been in the cut, question mark. Once you put her in, I'll donate. And I literally was like, where is she being put? It
Well,
was
you got
so
there. I
funny.
saw you replied to someone.
I
So you,
replied to Danielle.
oh, and she said,
So so you posted it.
yeah.
Danielle reposted it onto her story.
Oh,
So
okay.
I
Okay.
saw the repost and I literally responded and I said, Danielle, where are you trying to get her put? And then she deleted her story and then reposted it with context at the top. And I was like, I'm not dealing with this right now. And then someone else was like, where does she want to be put? And I was like, they missed a line. They missed the
You're like,
main bit.
this is just actually not worth explaining. So again, just a little chaos on the internet.
A
So
classic
anyway, long
Nicole.
story short, so that's why I was drunk. So Sunday morning I wake up and I hear through goes Max Verstappen, and I was like, oh shit, I'm late for the race. And I sit down and I see Checo's out already, and I said, holla fucking Luya. That bitch is out of here. And if he's not, if he maintains a contract for next season,
Dude, I know.
I am not threatening violence on Red Bull,
Are you not though?
but I will pay an Etsy witch to put a curse on Christian Horner for embarrassing Daniel Ricciardo and keeping Checo. And I know people like to say, in sponsorship money, in sponsorship money. You know what? I bet your bottom dollar Danny brought in a fuck ton of money as well. The
Mm-hmm.
American brands love that cheeky little Australian man. Okay. They loved him. And the fact that they were just like out on your ass, Danny, I simply won't stand for Red Bull to put up with this type of behavior from Checo. Quote, he goes, Red Bull should have tried harder to win the constructors championship. He said, not solely my fault. I'm going to hold your hand when I say this, Sergio Perez. It clearly is your fault. What do you mean that you think that it's not your fault for being such a shitty driver?
Yeah.
And then
I
he's out here in the press box being like, well, I don't know. I have a contract for 2025. Okay, big fucking whoop.
literally contracts mean nothing in F1 anymore. Like,
Okay,
okay.
twice. Danny had 2 contracts that he got booted from.
Yeah.
Logan Sargent did. Pierre, Alex Albon, everyone
Like
had contracts that seemingly didn't matter in the end. So
in
I
the end, doesn't even matter.
there's truly nothing personality wise about Checo Perez that I dislike. I just simply don't like his aura. I don't like his vibes.
The vibes are whack, yo.
The vibes are astronomically off the charts bad, and I just don't think he takes any accountability for his actions.
No.
And people like to talk a lot of shit about Max, but they think Checo is a nice guy. I don't fucking think so. Let's not forget Monaco. Okay, let's not forget about that.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, that was really when the vibes for him really started to go down for me, and I really just haven't respected him since.
Respect that a lot.
Thank you. I sent the message where I was posting also about Kelly and Max's pregnancy, which we can get into, but I was like, I am making very strong statements right now because I know we're leaving the F1 space and I actually don't give a fuck whose opinions we upset about this anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not a fan of Checo, and I'll say it.
She's gonna say it with her fucking chest, as she should.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was a crazy race. I woke up, I was watching it. Lap 1, I had already sent 3 text messages that just said, "Oh my god," by the end of lap 1. And I was
Mhm.
like, "What actually is going on?" It was crazy. I could have kissed Charles on the mouth. Lap 1, he did so great. I died about
I think
Checo
I think you could probably kiss Charles on the mouth for a lot less than that.
for sure. However, that moment really called for it. Yeah, it was so good. It was so good. Checo getting out, Charles climbing all the spot. Like, it was just like kind of chaos. And I was
No,
like,
Charles going from, like, dead last to being on the podium. My dad goes, "Why is he driver of the day?" And I said, "Dad,
why would he not be?
did you not see what he just did there? Come
Mark?
on." Yeah.
I'm gonna have to have some words with him. Because why would he not be?
Like, I truly was like, "Have you not been watching the same thing that I've been watching?"
Yeah, he crushed. It was a really good race. I was happy. The second half wasn't as exciting, but 2 good Ferrari pit stops, and I said, "Call me crazy. This is the best race they've had."
I
Like,
said, "Where
holy
has this
shit.
been? Where has this
Where
been?
has this been?
Now you decide? Now
Now
you"
that your life is on the line? Oh my goodness. Fred, I had a hot chocolate.
Oh, so fun. I was wondering what that was. I thought maybe it was coffee.
No, ma'am.
Yeah, it was incredible. George trying to save face and letting Lewis pass him at the end.
Yep.
Okay, we get it. You're a nice guy. Everyone's helmets this week were so
Oh
emotional.
my god. It
I'm sorry.
feels like everyone was on the emotional TG1 is over.
It's like they knew.
Oh my
It's like they
god, wait. When this guys, 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 if you're listening. When
if
this
you're listening.
I said when you're listening.
Oh.
When you're listening to this, please can we get on Twitter, can we please get hashtag TG1F is over party trending? Please.
Hashtag as a callback to when our haters tried to bring us down.
Hashtag
If you know, you
TG1F, 2 girls in formula _ haters group.
know.
I'll never forget them.
Where are they now?
I
They're
tried to
probably
find them the other day. I didn't know if we like just blocked them but they're gone. They got taken down.
I mean, like, the person themselves who
Oh
created
yeah.
them, where are they now? Do you think that they've grown from that? Do you think that they're still our number one hater? Do you think that they're gonna rejoice that we're calling it quits on the TG1F side of
Probably.
things? Like, where are they now? True Hollywood story. Where are they now?
Literally, they're literally going out to the town square to sing "No One Mourns the Wicked." They are truly rejoicifying that goodness could subdue the wicked workings of you know who. Like,
Exactly.
they'll be singing. They're singing, and
They're singing in the street.
the number one person that was in charge of that account, Glinda, because he'll actually be like, "Damn, I actually am pretty sad they're gone because now who can I hate on?"
Who can you hate
Yeah.
on? Exactly. It's so funny too, like, we've seen a lot of people come and go throughout our time here, and, like,
Yeah.
a lot of our haters didn't make it. A
A
lot.
lot of our haters didn't make it.
Where are you now,
Where are you
babes?
now? Crazy.
Yeah, so I'm sure that's probably how, like, Lewis Hamilton feels.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
seeing a lot of his ops go down. Number
Totally.
one. Like, it's just I also did you see the I know we talked a lot about George last week, but did you speaking of him being in his political era, did you see the video that was during media day on Thursday that he released where it was like clearly like a rehearsed sort of message that he had
No.
about Max and his behavior?
Oh my god, no.
Oh my god, hold on, I have to find it because
Play
it
it.
was literally sending me. It was the video from where I said his hair looked like a mustache.
It did though.
Oh, I'm on you know whose link tree.
Just in private, look each other in the eye and talk about it. Yeah, well, I went to speak with him on Sunday morning at the drivers' parade. Was myself, Max, Checo, and Carlos. We almost laughed about it. but I could see in his eyes that he was angry, and the words that he said, he meant it. And for me, that was very surprising. You know, I haven't got him disqualified.
He meant it. Hold on.
He meant it.
Then there's no way. And that's not how the sport works. So I was, as I said, I've known Max for 12 years. I've respected him all of this time. But now I've lost respect for him because we're all fighting on track and it's never personal. Now he's made it personal, and someone needs to stand up to a bully like this. And so far, people have let him get away with murder.
George, the last few seasons, you've been sharing a garage with the guy who is statistically the greatest driver this sport.
I'm dead.
Literally so funny. The way that, and that's not even the same video, but the way that he looks off, looks back, the subtle pauses he makes, it's just like, I know that you practice this speech.
Yep,
like,
well, do you know where he learned this? Total Wolf's Camp for Thespians.
Like, I'm truly like, George, we get it. You're running for prime minister. We get it.
Like, we get it, dude.
I just, the seriousness in his voice, it was just like,
That was actually a monologue. Like, that was, he was auditioning for something. There were scouts in the crowd. There were casting directors in the crowd. He was there, and he was like, I'm going to give them my best monologue.
It was hysterical. So I was like, okay, George, settle down.
So funny.
Okay, do we want to get into Kelly and Max?
I mean, we have to get into Kelly and Max. We're getting into Kelly and Max. I mean, here's the thing. Finally, the rumors are actually true. They have been dogged with pregnancy rumors every single day of their relationship. So I'm almost just kind of glad it happened because, like, my God, at least we can stop hearing about this every week and then it's not true. And like, at least it's over.
It's over. And I think I've said everything that I needed to say on the matter, on the Instagram stories. I never have been a really big fan of Kelly. She doesn't interest me as a human being. I don't find her particularly novel or interesting. So I'm just like,
she's the least interesting to look at.
Sure. And I just think, again, we've talked about it. I don't understand. She said in her own words that she really had a magical night with Max when he was 17 and she was 27 years old, which is kind of fucking insane because I can't imagine being 27 years old and even remotely thinking that any man under the age of 26 was even worth my time at that point in my life. So kind of incredible. And also I just it just feels a little fishy to me when you think about the fact that her other baby daddy is another former Red Bull driver. Like, to me, like, it's just like, if I had a nickel for every time that happened, I wouldn't have a lot, but it would have 2 nickels and that's a lot. Like, I just think about the fact that, like, there has to be a motive here. Like, this is one of those things where it's like, there's a motive behind this. And so it just doesn't feel right to me. You know, I'm a chronic vibes reader and I'm not
chronic vibes reader. Absolutely.
Great on that one. So I just like, it's not for me. And again, everyone's acting like, oh, that's so mean. That's horrible to say. I'm not saying that I don't think that child should exist. That's not what I'm saying. I'm glad they're both happy. Now they're both consenting adults. They can do whatever the fuck they want to do. Okay. I just think that Max's frontal lobe barely has just come online, if at all. And now he has to be a dad. That feels crazy to me. I think that anyone who has children under 30, that feels illegal to me. No offense to anyone who's under 30 and has children. Just like, don't you feel like a child yourself? I don't know. I do.
She's projecting.
I am. But it's also like, just the vibes aren't right on that one.
Yeah.
Do I think Max is going to be a good dad? 100%. He's already a great stepfather to little P.
I know.
Fantastic. But what I do really, and again, also with Kelly, we've seen the videos where Max is like, I just want to retire and be fat and happy, King Curtis style. And Kelly's like, nope, never going to happen. Bitch, let him retire in peace.
Let him eat a cheeseburger.
Leave him alone. let him eat a cheeseburger, leave him alone. And so then I'm just like, someone asked him, they're like, oh, Max, do you think there's going to be a former F1 driver in your family? And he said, I hope the fuck not.
What?
He said, someone asked him, they're like, do you think your kid's going to be an F1
Oh,
driver? And he
oh,
said, I hope not.
yeah.
He said, if they like actually like really, really want to be, I guess I'll let them, but I am not going to force them to do this.
Yeah.
And I was like, the trauma's jumping out.
Yeah.
So we'll see what Kelly has to say about, if she has anything to say about that, and if her child is going to be forced into. Also, think about your grandfathers being Nelson Piquet and Jos Verstappen. Like, actually the most cursed thing to like actually ever happen. That to me, that feels so cursed.
He's living it right now.
No, she's not. She's not actual blood.
She has a
To Jos.
step grandfather in Jos Verstappen, though.
Still. So
I wish them the best.
I would like to talk about Ferrari posting a video of Carlos crying on the timeline.
Tough. I don't want to see my man's cry.
And then Charles saying, like, I really wish we could have won for Carlos this weekend. Like, it's been such a pleasure working with him. And then also, in the same sad vein, like, Zhou and Bottas walking out and them holding up the Chinese flag for Zhou, and everyone's, like, clapping and cheering. And then also Valtteri saying, if I could have made a decision 3 years ago differently, I would have. Like, I wouldn't have gone to Alfa Romeo. Like, I should have gone somewhere else. There's a lot of devastating news. And then the photo of K-Mag and his daughter on the track, and he goes, it was really special for me to like sit with my daughter on the track, and she won't remember it, but I will. And it was like so special. And I'm like,
everyone is so
and
emo.
think about the fact that Suck My Balls, mate, like K-Mag and Nico, worst enemies to lovers. Like
Enemies
now
to
they're
lovers.
like, it's truly been such an emotional week on F1 Instagram. Everyone's gone soft this week.
Yeah, including us.
Including us. It's been an emotional season. I think that there's been so many things that have happened, and I am happy that we had like so many fun things to talk about, this past season. I think so many things happened, and we got to see so many different sides of this sport that we hadn't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see what happens in 2025. Lewis is going to be at Ferrari.
I know.
We've got new drivers coming on the grid. We've got a bunch of rookies starting, which we haven't seen in quite some time. So it's like,
truly, it was the end of an era, but the start of an age. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
And that applies to F1 and us.
I'm just, one, it doesn't feel real that we're not going to be talking about F1 all the time
I
anymore.
know.
But also that like things are switching up so much next year.
Yeah.
I'm like, those are my friends, actually.
Those are
like,
my friends.
Those are all of my friends on track, on the grid. Like, I love all of them. What do you mean some of them are not going to be here anymore? Actually unfair.
Yeah, I feel sad. Feeling emo right now.
Well, do we have anything else we want to talk about?
No, I don't think so.
All right, then I feel like we need to end this episode with a Manifest Minute.
I think we do need to end this episode with a Manifest Minute. I think you're so right with that.
I think we have to. It's been a while since we've done a Manifest Minute.
It has.
So, all right, everyone close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. And let's really imagine a 2025 filled with a lot more laughter, a lot more joy, a lot more friendship, and a lot more doing things that feel right to you. Doesn't matter what everyone else wants you to do or what you think you should be doing, but in turn, just following a path in life that makes the most sense for you at this point, where you are right now. I'm envisioning, a lot of success because you're resonating with what you actually want to do. And everything's going to work out the way that you want it to because you want it to work out. And so take a deep breath in, deep breath out, and let's really lock in that manifestation those intentions with doing something the rest of this 2024, the next 3 weeks that we have here, by doing something for future you that's going to put you on a good path in 2025, whether that's applying for a dream job that you want, booking a vacation that you've been thinking about a lot, getting a haircut that's going to help you be a new person in 2025. Whatever it may be, I think that it's going to be important for you to start planning that now. Let's not wait until December 31st, January 1st. No time like the present to really start locking it in for your future self. And that's what we're doing here on Two Girls, One Formula by transitioning to a new version of ourselves and a new era. Just like Taylor Swift has had several eras in her career,
Mm-hmm.
we don't have to be pigeonholed to one era in our lives.
So true.
Our lives are chapter books, short stories, not necessarily one long chapter of the same things. So again, this is not goodbye. This is see you on the internet.
See you on the internet.
But until next time, guys.
Until next time. We'll see you on the internet.
The internet.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of TG1F, an F1 podcast with Kate and Nicole.
If you like what you heard, don't miss out on the fun between episodes.
Keep up with the chaos on Instagram at Two Girls, One Formula. That's spelled out TWO girls, numerical 1 formula.
And check out our website, twogirlsoneformula.com, to shop cute fan-made F1 merch.
See you next week.
But like we said, in the meantime, we'll see you on the internet.